GYMDAD Fitness. Today we have with us Smak pre-workout. Before we get going on this thing, let's just admire this label for a second. Love the design. It really sticks out, looks cool on the shelf. Plus they have like this, you can't really see on screen if I can bring it up close. They have like this special cut of the label they did, and it kind of separates the design and then the ingredient profile in the back there. And it's one of those little things you don't really think about. Like for instance, you know, stuff like this. It just kind of finds a way to separate yourself. Like Mass Cast, how they did the rounded cap, so little, so simple, but you know, it changes things up a bit. And so they mixed it up here a little bit here at the sticker, making it a little bit different. And then Smak pre-workout. If this one sounds like something for you, I got a discount code from the producer of this one directly to a source, and he does prefer you purchase it from a brick and mortar first. If you have a company in your town, support your local business if you want to acquire it there, and I'll let you know if I get word on any other places that carry it. But I'll get a code too for the main site, and then get that in the link below. But Smak pre-workout. Before we get into the label breakdown, the weigh-in, the taste test, specs, scoring of this one, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below if you've tried Smak. This is one I haven't really seen too much information out there for right now. The Review Bros hit this one a little while back, and I think it was maybe a year, maybe a couple months. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not crazy recent, but anyway, and there might have been someone else that hit it too. I don't want to leave anyone out if they've reached. I know one of my friends on Reddit or Instagram, Dave, hit this one for review as well on his Instagram about short reviews. And so that's I don't want to leave any. I want to make sure I give everyone credit, but I know I just searched it real quick, so I'm sorry if I left someone out. The algorithm left you out because I just searched it real quick and started scrolling, and most of the ones that came up were the Vice and Vibe Smak. But anyway, so the taste test for this one is sour watermelon, and the flavor is absolutely delicious. It tastes exactly like the Sour Patch Kids candy watermelon. Very, very similar to a Resilient Strength sour watermelon flavor, which was awesome. And so 10 out of 10, like I honestly don't think there could be anything better than this. There's no artificial dyes in it either as well, if that's a big turn on for you. And then the grammage, it came in pretty damn close. Both times was like within a gram, I want to say. And I ran this thing twice, one at a slight rounded scoop and then one at a really fat heaping scoop. And I'll give you my experience breakdown and tell you which option's for you. And the serving size is a 1/2 scoop and 1 scoop. So let's get into this label breakdown. So this thing comes in, like I said, this is one of those 1/2 scoop, 1 scoop things, but we're going to go over the 1 scoop full dosage here. First is the Energy Matrix. It's a blend of caffeine anhydrous and caffeine citrate at 375. So I guess we kind of have to guess on how much citrate's in there. So it's probably going to be yielding around, like, I don't know, they'll play on the safe side and say 350, which is really cool because it's a nice little sweet spot for caffeine for what's going to come in here later on the label. Love that caffeine level. At the 350, I feel like that kind of leaves you room to take a heaping scoop. I do not like to go over. I kind of like the 350 to 450 range. Really do not like going over 450 when it comes to caffeine. So the fact they kept it at 375, but then after you adjust for yield, it's like 340, 350. It kind of allows you that flexibility to possibly heap this thing because there's going to be no alpha yellow in this thing, which we'll see here. And then there's this nitric oxide blend. This is L-citrulline malate, L-arginine, arginine, AKG, and orthine. And then so this is at 9 grams. And so that's a pretty good little dosage of pump products there. Like if you, I know we don't like prop blends for pumps, but like, you know, you can kind of guesstimate what's going on there. It's going to end up being around probably 6 to 7-ish grams citrulline, and then the rest of it's made up of arginine, agmatine, and then actually just arginine, and then so it's not terrible at all. And let me tell you what, I took a pump product that I did a glycerol shot one day on it, which was awesome. It was a leg day, so I always enjoy that for a good thick pump. And then just took this thing on its own today for triceps, and it was great. It was freaking amazing. I'm probably not going to stack it again. Like this pump product came together really nicely. It's one of these ones that it's simple but effective. It kind of like, I mean, with 9 grams of those key ingredients right there, like I was kind of like, this thing probably just has enough to get you there. It almost kind of reminds me of the pump complex of like Crack Daily, where it's like, it's really good, a good solid like B+. Like, yeah, you could stack some pump pills on it, or, you know, some other lighter pump formula to give this thing up to an A, but by itself, it's perfectly fine, especially for a, you know, a high-end pricey pre-workout, you know, if it's got a a hell of a pump formula. You can save a few bucks by not having to use a pump product with it. And then the next thing we have is beta alanine at 3.2, and then the focus mood stress reduction compound here of tyrosine, two different types of tyrosine, inositol, and then citrus antimony extract, which I think is like supposed to be like help like an almost like an ephedrine, synephrine type of product, where it kind of adds to a little bit to the urgency, a little bit of the heart increase, but nothing over the top. It's kind of like the more gentler younger brother. And so that's what just more stimulation is what we're dealing with there. And then this is the one people are going to want to know about. This is the English walnut extract, aka Juglans, aka sometimes 2-amino, 220 milligrams. So we've seen this ones before. Sometimes, like what I've learned in this game, is sometimes it's just reworded to sell to different markets, because some places don't allow 2-amino, and so like it might just be the same damn thing as like another product, same sourcing. They just call it English walnut or Juglans rather than 2-amino. So we've had products like Hive, I think from a while back, that claimed, I want to say they made a claim 1.3 on V1, and it was terrible. Like it felt like caffeine water. And then they came out with a V2 that had Juglans, and it was one of the most buzzing euphoric pre's you'd ever have. And anyway, so we just never know how these things come together. And then L-taurine, to wrap it all up at 1 gram, that's kind of an all-arounder, hydration, performance pump, kind of just a jack of all trades. And anyway, short label, semi-prop blend, but it's a prop blend in the respects of like, it's really not that mysterious on how many, like at least they told us, the total caffeine, like it's not like a spooky prop blend where they like give you a list of 50 ingredients and you literally have no clue what you're ingesting and stuff. So, it's all professionally done, and dosages are in order of what's in there the most, but you never know how these labels come together. So let's get into the effects of this one. So this one comes in relatively fast. I would say within 15 minutes you start feeling that caffeine citrate, that fast-acting caffeine comboed with the standard caffeine, and it's just more of it kicks in like you just slam to Celsius, like shotgun to Celsius, but then about the 30 to 40 minute mark you start getting this extra layer of euphoria. There's a little bit of that urgency that you got to get to the gym. Wonder if it's something to do with that's what would we mentioned there in the focus mood blend, the extract, that citrus extract one. Wonder if something to do with that adds a little bit more, because it felt like a little bit more than just Juglans or 2-amino caffeine. I felt like there's something else going on there that kind of increased your urgency, increased the heart rate just a bit more. Because I mean, I've had products like this one right here that's just like a 2-amino caffeine one, and it's just smooth. There's not really much sense of urgency. So I'd say there's a tad bit more urgency on this one than this one. This product right here. Urgency wise, I'll probably put it in the same realm as like Scary Hours Limited. A little bit more urgency than regular Scary Hours. And overall, I mean, 30 to 40 minutes, that urgency kicks in, then like really, really solid mood uplift. Very caught off guard, very surprised. I was kind of like, you just don't really know with this Juglans sometimes. And the first time I ran, I'm like, shit, this is just as good as any damn 2-amino product I've ran lately. That's just 2-amino and caffeine. And then I was like, it kept getting like better, and then I was like, damn, this is better than a lot of the ones I've had. And I started like saying like this feels like a better version of Scary Hours. And then I was like, okay, maybe pump the gas on that wheel. Scary Hours Limited and the heaping fat scoop of Scary Hours is pretty damn good. But then like I kept thinking like where I was before I started lifting, Sunday, leg day, exhausted as hell, post church with the kids. It was a war, and like I went from like being on E to like just completely amped up and ready to go, and had a heck of a workout. So I did a heaping scoop today. And let me tell you what, everything I just said, except for this is one of those situations where a heaping scoop busts this thing up to the next level. You take a really fat heaping scoop of this one, you're going to have yourself a Hive V2 experience. And that's a pretty bold claim, because I know there's a lot of people out there that really enjoyed Hive. It's a very similar buzz to that one. This is a really good quality Juglans, like every bit as good as the 2-amino and Scary Hours. Scary Hours Limited to a Hive V2 kind of vibe is what I got when I took a really fat heaping scoop of this one. I'd say at the standard slightly rounded, it's very, very comparable. Gosh, I don't know. I'm inclined to say maybe a little bit better than the original Scary Hours. I honestly think it was. I think it was a bit more euphoric than the regular Scary Hours. But the Scary Hours Limited is a tight call. A rounded scoop on this one versus Scary Hours Limited is really close, very close. But I'd say once you get a fat heaping scoop of this, it takes it above. To me, it beats out both those products, and we start creeping into the Hive V2 realm. Now, I still have that nostalgic factor of Hive V2, so it's tough for me to say it was actually better than that, but we kind of start getting into that discussion. So it leads me to believe this is freaking 2 amino. Like, if it has to be, because like I know these guys, they they want to market to other countries as well and stuff, and so I don't know for sure, but like, this is, sometimes you got to run the products and be the research and find out. And these are one of those situations that like I would bet my bank account on it for however much 2 aminos in this thing. This thing stacked pound for pound with many of them, and even better than this one right here, Helios Limited. Like, for instance, this one claimed 300 2 amino, and if I was blind taste tested, I would guess between 200 and 250 of this one, and it comes in at 220, but you do that fat heaping scoop and you're gonna get like 260-ish. So like, it was straight buzzing, and it kept going. You were happy as hell. It's just a positive, euphoric experience. There's just enough urgency. There's just enough, sense of urgency that gets you going, that makes you like not just like, a little bummed that you need a little bit more slap. It's too chill. It provides everything you need, urgency and energy wise, while at the same time providing a drama-free experience. If you're an Alpha Yo person that just hates Alpha, if you're an individual, not Alpha Yo, if you're an individual that just hates the Alpha Yo scaries, you love smooth, euphoric, happy prees, you loved, the regular red Helios. I don't know if you ever tried this one, Savage AF. I got a whole list of them right here. We got Pyre, we got Lockdown. This is a pretty damn good comparison too. Speed Force, Scary Hours Limited, and then I actually got rid of my Scary Hours regular. I ended up giving it away all in sample giveaways. Is up there on the big board. But if you're a big fan of all of these pre's, this is one for you right here. And it's a can't miss at that one. It's a happy vibes, good times pre, no drama, with a good amount of urgency. Kind of how I'd score this one. Overall. Pumps, I'll give this thing a good solid like 8 out of 10, almost 9 out of 10. It's really solid for a Stim Junkie pre. Overall sense of urgency and raw energy, we'll give this thing, for what it is, we'll give this thing like a sense of urgency, we'll give it 8 out of 10, which is pretty solid for a 2 amino pre with just caffeine and no alpha yohimbine in it. Sometimes we really love those ones with 2 amino, caffeine, and like a gram of alpha yo. But for what it is, this thing did a hell of a job, if not a bit more than what I was expecting. 8.5 out of 10. Let's go and up it a little bit. And then overall raw energy, I thought they nailed it on the energy. I'm gonna give this thing a 9 out of 10 on that. I thought this thing, for what is claims on label, this thing is much energy, if not more, than what I expected. I've had a lot more not be as energetic, that like claim more caffeine on label and more stimulants on label. And so what this one has on label, it's pretty short, it's to the point label. It provided everything you needed, that raw energy wise. And then Euphoria is the star of the show here. Like I mentioned, this is a no drama, good buzz and happy times pre. This is a dancer. This is gonna want to have you talking. This is gonna have you chatting up. This is not like our last review that when we hit I'm blanking on the lava fuel that has you aggressive in the tunnel vision, training like an Orcakai from Lord of the Rings. This is definitely more of a happy, fun-loving pre. And so this is my jam, man. This was like, I honestly, I've moved more into the slappers at this point right now, but like 2 years ago, this would have been my absolute like perfect pre. This one is just a can't miss. And so it's overall Euphoria. I'm gonna go ahead and give this thing a 10 out of 10. Let's just grade it. I'll say flat level. This is a full green bar. If the rounded level or the rounded scoop, full green bar. But you get a good fat heaping scoop, this thing gets up into the red for sure. This is one of these pre's. I know sometimes less is more. Like honestly, when I rounded this one, I got no real benefit. This one moves up a letter grade. This goes from a good solid B+ pre at a flat level, at a flat level serving the grammage on the label, to a whole entire different element of an A- pre when you go ahead and get a really fat heaping scoop. So definitely enjoyed this one. Like, subscribe, check out this company. Like I said, if I find more places you can acquire it, get it from their main site right now, or if you have a local brick and mortar, but I'll try to find some more sites for you to obtain